roasted organic carrots, the same kind Bugs Bunny eats. Right there they are. Plus we're going to add some Manuka honey. And if you don't know what Manuka honey is, by all means Google it. I mean, it has some excellent properties. I paid $22 for that small jar right there at Publix, so it's expensive, but it has some really good properties. We're also going to use a balsamic vinegar reduction and some garlic. So your immune system is going to love you for this. I'm telling you, this is an immune system booster if there's ever been one. And we're going to do it, I'm going to do it in the Ninja Foodie, but you can do it in any air fryer. I'm using this, and I'm going to use this pan right here, but we're fixing to do all that in just a second. I'm John Sanders, also known as Jelly 007. Let's make some really good roasted carrots in your air fryer that your immune system is going to love you for. Okay, so I wanted to touch one more time on the fact that this is an air fryer recipe. I'm only using the air frying portion on the Ninja Foodie, so you can use any air fryer. Now, what I normally do with vegetables and carrots and all is I take Scotch-Brite and clean it. And I always say that and I never show it, but let me tell you, this right here works as good as anything, and you don't have to peel all your, what I call, nutrients off. I'm going to hold it under cold water, of course, and then I'll do this right here, and you can see how well that works. I think you can, but right there is how well that cleaned that carrot that quick. So that's what I'm about to do to a few of these carrots. I'm going to get them in here. We're going to get our Manuka honey and our balsamic vinegar reduction, and a little bit, I'm going to mince 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, and we're going to get that mixed up in there, and we're about to get this started. All right, for the record, there they are after I've cleaned them with Scotch-Brite under running cold water. Now I'm going to dry them off a little bit, just get the water off of them, no big deal. And then I'm going to cut them to where they'll fit in this pan. Okay, here is what my recipe is. There are the carrots. I've got them cleaned and cut up. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of my Manuka honey, which is kinda, other than the carrots, the star of the show, because it is a big deal. It really is. And like I said, $22 for that small jar, but if you taste it, you'll see why. Now I'm going to add a little bit of thyme to mine, and some Jacobson sea salt. This is 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar reduction, and you can see it's the thick kind. It's not the thin balsamic vinegar. And this is 3 smaller cloves of garlic that I have minced up. So I'm about to get all that right here. I'm going to put it all together, shake it up real well, make sure it tastes kind of like what I want before I put it in here, which, by the way, I have sprayed with the avocado oil. Okay, I've let them sit there for about 10 minutes. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and get them on where we can see how they're going to turn out. And I'm going to put them right there, and then kind of let some of that go. I may reserve some of that, and I may end up, if it needs them, I'll make more. But right now, that right there, I'm just going to kind of get them on one level, one layer. And now, I've got to find my trivet. As a matter of fact, hold on, I'll be back. I got to get a trivet because I want it to sit off the bottom. I don't want it to sit on the bottom of the pan and I don't have a trivet in there. I'll be back. Okay, there's the trivet. I got it on here, and you can see I just want the carrots on like one layer. Now, the carrots I've done before, somewhere around 400 degrees for 15 minutes, and that's a whole carrot. I don't always cut them up like this, and I don't usually have all this stuff on them because I'm learning a little bit too. So what we're going to do, close this down. I'm going to make sure I'm centering it up real well. Turn it on. We're going to go with bake roast. We're going to do the roast feature. I'm going to get it to 400 degrees first, and I'm going to do 15 minutes. We're off and running. I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to stand here and go back and forth and toss them around and roll them as they need and move them around a little bit to where they get brown on all sides. And I'm looking forward to these being really good. And like I said, also I got this here. I may add that. I got to kind of get that where I can pour that over there at maybe the halfway mark, but we'll do that then. All right, we're coming up on the 5-minute mark, or it's been on for 5 minutes. Let's take a look. I'll let you see, and I kind of moved everything around so you can see in there a little better, because all I'm going to do is this right here. Just move them around a little bit, and you can see that there's plenty of still of that mixture still in there, the glaze. And I'm just going to do that for a minute to get these coated real well and moved around where they can brown up on all sides and kind of get that glaze to shine up a little bit. So, gotta get them back to one layer. We're there. All right, look again in about 5 more minutes. Okay, we're close to the next 5-minute mark. Now I haven't opened it, but I wanted to because it's got a definite smell. I mean, it doesn't smell burning or anything. It just smells. You can smell that balsamic vinegar and the honey and all, and it smells excellent. It's got a strong smell. I wanted to look. I couldn't stand it any longer. So you can see what I'm seeing, and we're pretty close to me checking temps, because I'd like for it to be around 190 to say 200. As a matter of fact, hold on, we're going to do that right quick. Let's see what we got on that large one right there, if I can do it without burning my arm. And it's 140, 132. So we're not good yet. We'll let it go some more. All right, we're coming up on the 15 minutes, which I would think they're close to being done, but I don't. Yep, they look good. There's what they look like. And like I said, I hadn't opened it other than right now. And we're going to take a temp reading. And if we need to go a little longer, we will. I'm sure some of those smaller ones are done, but you know something, it doesn't hurt for some of them to get a little further than others. It makes for a good combination. In fact, there's the largest one we got that I know of, and it is. And a while ago, I realized when I looked back on my video that I was blocking it, but that's 170. You know something? I'm going to let it go another 5 minutes. We're going to put 5 more minutes on there and let the bigger ones get closer to say 180, 190, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to leave it on air roast, and we'll do air roast at 400 again, and we're going to say 15 minutes because we're not going to let it go 15. We're just going to go till it gets to that larger piece, gets to around 180, 190 or something, but I'll be back. All right, I just had an issue, evidently. What I did was, my video quit recording for whatever reason, or anyhow, but I had some reserve right here on the, that came out of this container right here. I poured that on it at the 10-minute mark, which was another 5 minutes. And I checked them, and I had around 185 on the largest piece there. So I'll try and show you again. But the main thing is you don't really have to worry about having a temperature probe. Just make sure when you stick through it, it's like a potato, you know, a sweet potato or even a regular potato. Just make sure that you can just poke something in it and it feels done and not hard in the middle. So we're going to let it go about 5 more minutes. And I'm going to call those done, so I'll be back then. All right, we are coming up on the 25-minute mark, and you can see what they look like. They look excellent, and I think they're going to be that way. I can't imagine them not being done now, but we're going to take a temp reading on one of the larger ones, just because we can. So let's do that, and whoops. That is pretty much perfect. On the largest one in there, it's done. So I'm going to get those out of there, let them rest a little bit. We're going to get them on a plate, and we're going to eat some of them. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's how I eat mine, with a little bit of sesame seed I put on after the fact, and a slight amount of sriracha, just to give it a little heat. You got to be careful with that, but take my word. The Manuka honey and the balsamic vinegar turns into like a glaze, and there's nothing wrong. In fact, you can see it right here. And you can eat that glaze just by itself. It's really good. It's got a really good flavor. But I put a little heat on mine, and it works well. And I'll show you what the inside of the carrot looks like. Of course, I'll have to be chewing on that and not be able to talk, so I'm going to do that at the end. But take my word, you're going to love this recipe. It is loaded with all kinds of health food stuff. That right there, like I said, Google it. You'll see what I mean. That is it's excellent for a lot of things. So anyhow, here you go. Here's what the inside of the carrot looks like. And it's perfectly cooked. There is nothing wrong with that. So around 200 degrees on a carrot. And if you want to add any kind of honey you want, but I'm telling you, that right there might be something you want right now. It helps the immune system. Anyhow, hey, I love y'all all. Come back to see me. And like, share, subscribe if you don't mind. And y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.